welcome everybody to this special Grunt League video. I'm here with Adb.
What is up, everybody?
And we're going to give kind of a recap what happened in the past 2 weeks, explaining the rules, who will get into playoffs, and also having some preview for week 3, the matchups, and what every player needs to do to get into the playoffs, or maybe he's in already or out. ADP
You're just gonna have to find out by listening to this video.
Exactly.
So we're gonna start with the rules that we are following for the group stage. There's three groups of 4, and 2 people go through in each group. But out of those 6 people, we have to pick 2 to put directly into playoff semifinals, and we're gonna pick the best 2 group winners. We do that using, of course, their points, like picking by their points, their set difference, and eventually, if that's tied, we use the pick difference. And that's also the criteria that we use for breaking ties. If there's ties between 2 or more players in points, we have head-to-head matches first, which means that, for example, if A is tied with B and A won the match against B, A is ahead. Pretty straightforward. Then there's set difference, meaning we count every time you lost or won 2-0 or 2-1 and make a score out of that. And then pick difference is essentially the same concept, but applied to pigs that were left alive in each and every single game. And that includes the game that are yet to be played.
Thanks for explaining. We really hope we won't come down to pick difference, but we never know. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the standings. We'll start with Group A.
We got Bobby in first place with 6 points. What do you think about Bobby's playthrough so far?
Yeah, Bobby, of course, one of the more experienced players in this tournament, got in as a reserve and delivered, I would say. He had a pretty close game against JJ in the first round, and the second round he wasn't quite as close against Levo, but for me, Bobby was the favorite in this group and will most likely go through to the playoffs.
Yep, despite the fact that he is on 6 points, there's a bit of a conundrum in Group A. I'll just quickly go over the possibilities. If Bobby wins, if JJ doesn't win, or if Bobby loses 2-1 while JJ also wins 2-1, Bobby goes through. But if Bobby loses 2-0 while JJ also wins 2-0, Bobby is out. And then there's a third possibility where there is Bobby loses 2-1 while JJ wins 2-0, or on the contrary, if Bobby loses 2-0 while JJ wins 2-1, it will come down to pick difference, which again we can't predict because of the fact that the games that are yet to be played are also included in pick difference.
That is true, but Bobby is definitely on the top spot here. If he wins, he's through, so it's as easy as that.
Yeah, exactly. There's a bunch of math, but it only comes down to winning or not most of the times.
And
so let's go over to JJ.
Yeah, it should be the same for him. If he wins, he's through as well, isn't he?
Not as easy as that, but almost.
Almost. So yeah. And he was really... We saw him playing in Rank Up where he had a close game against Iron Fox, a tough opponent, and he delivered as well so far in the group, winning 2 really close games against Bobby and against Fab, which I considered...
Oh no, he lost against Bobby.
Oh yeah, he lost against Bobby, sorry. He lost against Bobby, but won against Fab. But
his games were definitely, like, both the games he played were definitely the most interesting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably a bit biased because he's a good friend of mine, but I can agree they were pretty interesting, and you should definitely check them out if you haven't yet. And I guess he has the easiest opponent. Levo is third, so it's also not looking too bad for him.
Yep, exactly. But JJ is through. He doesn't even have to win if Fab loses, for example. So JJ is through if Fab doesn't win, or if JJ wins 2-0 while Fab doesn't win 2-1. Yeah, exactly. You heard that right. If Fab doesn't win 2-1, because every single result besides that one qualifies JJ.
Yeah.
So if JJ doesn't win and Fab does, he's out. But there's also the possibility, which I was just talking about, whether when JJ wins 2-0 and Fab wins 2-1. And in that case, it'll come down to pick difference once again.
And speaking of Fab, he's currently in third place, won the first match against Levo, then won a close one against JJ. So he has to win against Bobby now to still have a chance to get into the playoffs. But I mean, it's
just
definitely
possible. Say, yes, yeah, go ahead. It's definitely possible, and I want to say something that I trained a bit with Fab and the others before rank up, and Fab was so nervous, so I want to say unconfident about himself, but the game versus JJ, even though we didn't see the game where he won, and we just saw him lose 2 times, it shows that there's been a huge improvement for him. So I'm actually very happy for him.
Yeah, I guess. The Grunt League was his idea. He's really doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes in the background, and I guess it was a pretty good idea from him. I really enjoyed so far, and it definitely helped his plays a lot.
I forgot to mention that it was his idea. So good call. So Fab goes through if he wins 2-0 against Bobby, or if he wins and JJ doesn't. But unfortunately, if Fab doesn't win, he is out. But there's also a possibility of pick difference again, which happens if Fab wins 2-1 and JJ wins 2-0. And then there's Levo. At the end of Group A.
He's out, unfortunately, for the playoffs. He will still have, of course, his match against JJ yet to play, but no matter the score, he will not make it into the playoffs.
Yep.
And yeah, he struggled a bit also with the timer, and sometimes with which tiles are walkable and which aren't. So he definitely has a lot of room for improvement. But I hope he's enjoying it as well, and we saw some good plays from him as well.
Yep. Moving on to Group B, we have the current group leader, which is a bit of a surprise because, well, we didn't know him before Grunt League, which is Theo Bromine with 6 points.
Exactly, and he really played well so far. So I hosted both of his games, and yeah, it's every time interesting if there are new players in, which we have a lot, and I enjoy. You haven't seen playing before. It's interesting to see the play style, and Theo Bromine has a unique one, I would say, especially since if you aren't influenced by the first league we had, if you haven't seen the threads there and just go in with your own mindset, it's interesting to see some different play styles, not only from Theo but from a lot of other guys and what they are doing. And yeah, we see it's definitely working for him. He's on top of the group, and it will be a close match against Raging Loony.
Yep. Theo is already in the playoffs with 6 points, but as we stated before, first place and with a good number of points is important to try to get through the semifinals. So it will be important his last match against Raging Loony. But no matter the result, Theo Bromine is one of the qualified players for the playoffs. And
speaking of Raging Loony.
Yeah, exactly.
He's sitting in second place with a draw and a win with 4 points, so we don't see draws very often.
No, we don't. In fact, the only 2 draws that we had so far in the whole competitive scene of Hogs of War included Raging Loony.
Yeah, he certainly likes to do that, it seems. But yeah, 4 points so far, and it will be a deciding game for him as well, so he shouldn't lose.
Yep, exactly, because there's Oven Glove behind him with 1 point, so he technically can still be reached. Specifically, Raging Loony has to win or hope that Glove doesn't win. But there's also a possibility if Loony loses 2-1 and Glove wins 2-1, the Raging Loony is still through with a better set difference score. Otherwise, if Loony loses 2-0 and Glove wins 2-0 as well, Raging Loony is out.
Yeah, so it's a lot to fight for in this group, and Glove has probably the easiest opponent in this group.
Yeah, Glove has to play against Farouk, which is on 0 points and unfortunately also eliminated from the tournament. But what about Glove? What can we say about Glove?
Yeah, it's kind of the same as Theo in a lot of aspects. We didn't know him before. I think he only joined for the Grunt League. I saw the announcement on Pin's YouTube video and decided to join, which is awesome that we get new people in every day and also new participants. And I think he's really enjoying it so far, and we enjoy seeing him. He had a really close game against Theo. But you can also tell from these players they are new to the competitive scene and they're just improving a lot along the way. And I think we will continue to see that from Glove, and they already told us he wants to participate in further future events as well. So I think we will see a lot from him in future too.
Yep, and as for the qualification for Glove, it's basically the opposite of what I said for Raging Loony. Glove has to win 2-0 while Loony loses 2-0 to go through. But if either of them manages to snatch a set from the 2-0 and 2-0, then it will come down to pick difference.
Yeah, and sitting on bottom in this group is currently Farouk.
Yeah.
It seems he has sometimes a bit of trouble with his connection. I think he has one of the weakest internet connections of the
probably
game, but also sometimes with his controller or with the buttons. It seems has some troubles there sometimes, but also kind of similar with Levo, where he can stand, where which tiles are slippery, which not, and probably.
Although he is a little bit faster than Levo in executing plays, he seems like he has a little bit more experience than Levo, in my opinion.
That is
but
true.
At least judging from what I've seen.
So, but still, I guess he has a hard time getting used to input lag because a lot of time he over undershoots the shots. But like I said, this will all come with experience. So yeah, we'll see if he can improve his game for
his game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And moving on to Group C, which is the easiest one because we have 2 people at 6 points and already through in the playoffs. Which I'm talking about Pekis and Jay Warren.
Exactly, but the interesting scenario here is they haven't lost a single game in the matches.
Yeah, exactly.
A single set, so that could be crucial to getting on spot in the semifinal.
So almost guaranteed that the one who wins the direct match that we'll play next week between Pekis and Jay Warren will be one of the 2 semifinalists.
That is true, and I can only tell about both of them that they have impressed me a lot. So we know about Pekis. He was in some games
pretty poison heavy player, like his I don't know the word, but the guy with the same nationality, which is Iron Fox.
Exactly, the Finnish poison is strong on them, so you really can tell who has trained him, but he executed his gameplay well overall. So it wasn't only the poison; he barely made any mistakes, and yeah, so far is deserving his spot on the top.
And Jay Warren has a slightly different. Not slightly, a completely different play style. He's like a more solid, he can do much more things at the same time, and he also uses gunners quite a lot, which I think he's the only one in the whole Grunt League who does that. If I'm
Probably
correct.
sometimes uses the gun as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, still, it's a pretty unique balance between
Uh,
gunners and the others.
and he was really a dark horse for me because like Elvin Glove, we didn't know him before. He joined for the Grunt League, and yeah, he really
He was the last one to join,
yeah the
like a week before we were set to start Grunt League. So he was like kind of a last minute guy.
that's true, but he really did his job. He did his homework, or how you say that, and I guess either practice a lot or it's just natural. And yeah,
Yeah,
also with 6 points, so it will be a close game against from these two.
it also happened in rank up where we had like Angurio joined like 2 weeks before rank up, and then
No.
he made it to the final. But will that be a lucky charm for Jay Warren as well? We will see. But we have to also talk about the other two people in this group, which are Straland and Busy Guy. Unfortunately, they both lost their games, so they cannot move to playoffs. But I will say, I can definitely say that they're not the worst players in Grunt League at all.
I wouldn't say that as well. It's just maybe a bit of unfortunate draw. Got strong opponents, but
Yeah, exactly. They were. I gotta say they were a little unlucky with the pairings, considering that we learned that Pekis and Jay Warren are pretty tough opponents. We didn't know, of course, before we saw them play, but that's
yeah,
what it is.
yeah. But that's also the interesting point of the Grand League for me. You don't know the players or a lot of players before, and you see the skill that the players sell for the first time, and it's really refreshing to see. And also
And
for Straland, we didn't see her playing much before as well. And from what I can tell, I think you can agree on that. For she
well, yeah,
she
she
just
is definitely.
learned the
Yeah,
game
exactly.
not too long ago, and from her first steps to her gameplay now, there's a huge
Oh
improvement.
yeah, yeah. She is learning fast. I especially appreciated her heavy weapon skills, like the way she uses bazookas and airbursts in her games. Impressed me for someone who again started playing the game just recently.
So we can definitely expect a lot from her in future as well. And then Busy Guy. Also, we saw him in Wake Up. He was there as well. He also trying to think of one Hogshead GP once. Oh, yeah, he did at least post
Yeah,
a round of it.
he didn't qualify.
He didn't qualify, but also really a nice guy who enjoys the game a lot. Also kind of struggles with competitive for now, given circumstances, but
Yeah,
uh,
but he definitely enjoys playing nonetheless, which
no,
we always appreciate. And yeah, he of course can improve. This is not a game
mm,
about skill. It's not like
no.
the Olympics where if you're not good, you're just not gonna make it to the goal. This is a strategy video game, so you can always get to the top, basically.
Yeah, and also for me, especially, also when I'm playing, of course, you're the competitive, you're try hard, but the fun shouldn't come too short. And I guess I
Oh
hope
yeah, yeah, yeah,
he's having it too, and I'm sure he can put up a good fight against Starland, and will definitely improve a lot moving forward as well.
yeah. So that wraps it up for the recap of week of Grunt League until week 2. And we will see you in the matches because there's still a lot to see here.
And yeah, don't forget to check out the Hogs of War Discord server. It will be linked in the descriptions. Because we are not sure yet when the playoffs will take place, but if you don't want to miss it, they will be live streamed on this channel. Uh, Best check out the Hogs of War Discord server. We will announce it there, or just follow the server closely to get all the latest
Exactly.
news. And I think that wraps up this video. Thanks ADB for joining me here and for clearing up all the confusing points and how somebody gets to playoff or not. You can always ask in the us in the Discord as well
In the
if you
server, yeah.
yeah.
So from ADB95 and Impastus Castor, that's all, and see you next time.